So here are some of my first thoughts on the new FTC game, Freight Frenzy. I just like to come out with these videos just to kind of go through the process and see what maybe strategies could be viable this year, and I think it's fun, so that's why I do it, even though I'm not in FTC anymore. So here's my current idea, just general concept for a Freight Frenzy robot. So the first feature on the robot here is going to be the drivetrain. And so you have to get over these. This is a representation of the barrier to enter the warehouse, I believe it's called. And so if you did 6-wheel drive with 4-inch wheels, it seems like it would work pretty okay, maybe, if you had enough traction on those. You could also do maybe more than 3 wheels. Maybe you would do 4 smaller wheels. You could do treads. I'm excited to see if anyone does locking mechanism, because then you could still do 4-wheel drive. I think that could be pretty cool and a good game to kind of prove the concept there. But yeah, it seems like you'll definitely want to try and have the option of getting over that obstacle, as well as maybe making your robot skinny enough to get through that gap on the side of the field. And so that's kind of the drivetrain. Just there's quite a bit to choose from there. I don't know. I've not seen a field in person, so I don't know how well mechanism would actually work. But mechanism seems like it would be nice for lining up with the what are they called? The scoring towers. I don't know what they're called. The depots. I don't know. So this is the primary scoring mechanism I've come up with. So it would be a large virtual 4-bar arm. And so down here, or up here, you can see, so this is a representation of a block, and then this is the path of the intake sweeper. It wouldn't be very wide. It would just be maybe, I don't know, 1.5 times as wide as a block or something. So you could make it nice and small, or maybe twice as wide as a block. But the key thing would be you just want to get one block or ball or duck at a time, and then this is big enough to even fit the ducks. And so I was thinking you'd do a noodle-like sweeper here, and then to power this, I was thinking you could actually, so if this is the center point here, you could gear or belt or chain, somehow connect that to a belt that would go all the way back here, and then this would be a coaxial joint where you would pivot the arm, you would have the belt or cable for the, or chain for the virtual 4-bar part, and then you'd have another belt or chain that would come back and come down to an intake motor down here. So the idea is you have your center of mass as low as possible. This is just kind of, this over here is just kind of an arbitrary choice of motor placement. So yeah, that's maybe not the most efficient. Maybe you'd want to do 3 in a line there. But so yeah, so you'd have your sweeper driven from way back here, which would mean your arm could be a lot lighter. And then I'll get to that in a minute, but just to show over here, so this is a representation of the scoring platform. So if you bring that over here, and so let's say the robot stops right about there, you can easily sweep your stuff out onto the upper level, the mid level, and the lower level. But the one thing I was looking at with this geometry is it would be kind of tricky to get the capstone object on top of it. So that's why I chose a virtual 4-bar instead of a 4-bar linkage idea. So you can bring this over here and you could somehow intake your capstone item so that it's like right there, and then pick it up and then flip it up and over, and you could cap it up there like that. Just, I don't know how you would do that, but it seems possible. Haven't thought it through that much. What's that dimension go to? Yeah. So the last part is spinning the carousel. So I figured you'd want it. I figured maybe like a 3.7 or 5-to-1 motor, geared motor, and then The idea here is I was thinking you'd have a large belt on the back of the robot going across the back. So this is like a side view, but it would go further back that way. And then, so you'd have a large contact area, and then you'd just drive right into your spinning carousel, and you'd be able to hit it from a bunch of different angles to get it over there. Other little ideas I had that I didn't put in the sketch, but I thought were maybe viable would be you could add maybe little hooks on either side, servo hooks, so if you really wanted to drag the goals around or the scoring towers around, you could do that, just to have that option. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the idea here. It's pretty basic. It's not using any linear slides or large complex linkages. It's pretty simple, but it's just an idea. I'm excited to see what all the teams come up with this season, and how things will be looking here in a couple months. So good luck to all the teams competing this year.